a sister from Brixton is asking if she must remove her nail polish before she makes the wudu.
Now the nail polish is of two types. Either it is preventing the water or it's not preventing the water. If it prevents the water like I know it does, yes, you have to remove it, otherwise your wudu is invalid. But I usually teach my students, whenever I answer this question, is what is this nail polish? I mean, has to do with a Muslim woman fearing Allah Azza wa Jalla. Did the companions do it? Oh, they didn't have it. No, they didn't have it. They had Qila and everything. They did. Yes, not maybe as not professionally manufactured today, but they had it. But they did do it. So where did we get it? We get it from Aisha and Khadija. We get it from Fatima and Hafsa. We got it from Susie and Elizabeth and all of those names. How did we get this nail varnish? No nail sort of liquid. But what do you call it? What did you call it, Ahmed? Nail what?
Nail polish, Shaykhi. Polish.
Polish, is that the same as in the nail?
Yeah, that's it. Nail polish, yeah. You paint it on, I think.
Yeah. And then they make it pink and red and blue. And so there's no difference between a sister putting false nails and polishing her nails. No difference. The same thing. So this is haram and this is haram. Both of them imitation of the kuffar. And on top of that, you can have 5 daily prayers. Yes, you may hold your wudu, but every time you're going to have wudu, you have to take that off. So what is the fuss about? Just leave it. You look beautiful with your own beautiful nails like that. Natural. Beautification can go in a different way, in a halal way, but this is following the path of those who will be taking you to hellfire, the people of hellfire. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant our sisters the iman and the deen and make them to follow the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan for that question, sister. طيب. Harith Muslim Brixton, yes. Now I could see Brixton. Fadal Brixton. Yalla Harith. You're allowed to unmute yourself and go ahead, ya Harith.
Naam, Sheikh. My question was from the salutation from the Prophet in the last tashahhud, we're saying the word al. What will come under this dua with the al? Who are the ones that is applicable, this dua?
All those who are the progeny of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. That's the direct one, which is the ones who are Muslims. So all the progeny of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that comes into the al. Number 2, that is the spouses. So those spouses, the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, are also into the special al, the specific al, the one which is mentioned, the hadith of al-Kisa. Hadith al-Kisa, which when the Prophet ﷺ, he put it on Ali, al-Hasan, Hussein, Fatima, said al-Bayt. This in that hadith, azwaj is being mentioned. لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ Ahl al-Bayt. This is the Ahl al-Bayt. But also the al, as we're going to see later on from the benefits, that we as Muslims comes into it as well. Followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the general al. So we have specific al and general al. We are from al Muhammad. Okay, ya Harith?
Naam, jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khairan. Yalla ya Nakhla.
Yes. So in the tashahhud and the salat ala Nabi, we're pointing our finger and moving it. When we're finished and we're about to make taslim on the second tashahhud, yes? How do we return our hand? Is it to a fist or to flat, like the left hand?
That main mention, and I've answered this question before, yeah, Nakhla. Nakhla means palm tree.
Nice.
Mr. Palm tree, we have mentioned this before, and we have said there is no proof, but we said that it's obvious that we stop the moving. We stop it because we are not busy in 2 things now. We can't do like this while we are moving the finger.
Sorry, that's not what I mean. So, yes, Afwan.
I understood your question.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
So you said, so if I stop this, shall I make it like this or shall I make it like that? That's the question.
No.
So because we said this, you can't do it, as in for this or that, there's no proof to say which way to when you end the prayer. But if you want to make it flat, that's the most important thing. You don't make it in a noticeable way that you be bringing attention. So when you were doing like this and you said, people are not going to notice your hand when praying, like you're going to. So no problem. If you did it in a nice way, yes, no problem. You just stop your finger, this, because there is no proof. Allahu Akbar.
Jazakumullah khair.
Jazak. Yalla, to the panel, please.
Barakallahu Feek, Sheikh. Another Brixton sister wants to know about the two sunnah after the Salat al-Maghrib, the prayer of Maghrib and Isha, and the one before Fajr. She basically just wants to know, can she pray it loud?
So the sunnah, all of them, is not to be read loud, except if you're leading Taraweeh. So the sunnah in general is not loud. So it is silent. But when I say silent, you move your lips. So whether it's the sunnah of the Maghrib or the sunnah of the Isha or the sunnah of the Fajr, always sunnah is to be read silent. But Taraweeh, because you're leading the people, or if you're praying the night prayer, as Umar al-Khattab and Abu Bakr, Prophet of Allah, he told Abu Bakr to raise up a bit of his voice, and Umar lower from his voice. So you could recite the night prayer, the night prayer. But where is the Sunnah, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib? All of those silent. Wallahu a'lam. We go now to Sister 11.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salaam wa rahmatullah.
In talaq or khula, can a woman claim half of a man's house or wealth as can be done in English law?
Can the woman, talaq or khula, claim 50% or even a bit more if she's got the kids with her, as the English law say? The person needs to know that if he had entered a contract Islamically and he accepted that, then the Islamic contract is to overrule. So the Islamic contract is basically the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if this person had entered with an Islamic contract, and at the same time he had made this marriage to be registered, and this register is to be used for the sake of making sure that there will be inheritance to the wife if she dies according to the will, which is Islamically had been executed, but it's not for to take this registry or registration of the marriage a stick to be waved against Islamic marriage. No. So, in talaq or khulu', the talaq or the khulu', she has to pay. She cannot take. She's the one who's asking. She has to make what? Compensation. In the talaq within the 3 months, which is the cooling off period, she has to stay in the house and he has to spend on her money. And if she dies or he dies, they will inherit from one another. Now, when the talaq reaches the end of it, then it's called mut'atul talaq. Mut'a, that means to give her some money to make her satisfied. She's leaving you now, khalas. It's called mut'atul talaq. That's when you decide not to embrace her back, and she's going to be khalas, released. You give her the mut'a. Mut'a is not the mut'a of the Shia, of the Rafid. No. As Allah says, فَمَتِّعُوهُنْ. That's the mut'a. Now, the English law, okay, or any other law, does not take into consideration that the husband is the one who's in charge of the children. Usually it is the case, and as I said, they'll give the children to the wife, and then they will give her not just a 50%. I know a brother who had left out with 20% of everything. Actually, he left only with his clothes that they were hanging in the wardrobe. And I know the brother. He came out, I got my clothes, alhamdulillah. 80% and more, he said, have been judged to her. Where is the justice? Because the children want to be with her. took everything. And he was making all this money. The other laws, other than the Muslim law, they say it into consideration. They say that, if the wife is to be working during the time of the husband who's working, they will work it out that she's entitled for money. Subhanallah, alladhi la ilaha illa. What an injustice is being shown here. The husband is not just a duty of his to be spending money onto the house and buying the house and all of that. His duty is well to bring up the children. And when he is giving money to the wife and giving money to the children, why don't you, as a justice, just like you took 50% of what he had made as an enterprise, take 50% of the money that he had already given them when they were not working? So why don't if you are a justice, they work out, okay, well, she was inside in the house and she was looking for the children, that means she's got 50% of what you have been making. Okay, then I'm not going to give her a penny. Gee, this law makes the husband to be tight. When they go out, you've got your own, you have to work, get your money. I can't give you money because of when you divorce, 50% you're going to take from me. He's saying justice. So they make already the husband hates his wife. Husband hates her husband, and she's trying to get the money. So a woman who came from nowhere and came to a person who's rich, and she stays for him for a year or so, and then she divorces him and she takes half of his millions. Where is the justice in there? I don't know. Yeah, all his millions, half of it is gone. When she did not work with him, Allah al-Musta'an. But I said, every person has to fear Allah Azza wa Jalla, and remember that the registry is not required Islamically. But because of the latest incident that took place, where a woman, she couldn't claim anything from her husband because she did not register her marriage. Well, in Islamically, she will not get anyway. Anyway, she will not get anything. If she divorces, she will get what she had got when she was married, and also extra bit, which is, like to make her feel better. But to give her 50% of what the man is making, that's not correct. So registering the marriage, I don't know what is it going to do. You are, you could live girlfriend and boyfriend. Boyfriend and girlfriend is allowed. Who says it's not allowed? So now a boyfriend and a girlfriend, which you have any contract, regardless what contract, is better for the contract. So how about if it's the contract of Allah Azza wa Jalla, that we believe this is the contract? So you're asking, is it correct for the sister to ask for 50%? No, it's not. I'm not, because I'm a misogynist against women. No? It's not justice. Fine, let's go to Faisal Ibrahim. Hang on a second. Is there any question from the panel from Brixton?
Yeah, there is, Sheikh.
Go ahead quickly, please, with them.
She wants to know about reversing the cloak. In the 3 ways that you've taught us to ask for rain, do you reverse your cloak in all of them?
No, I said only in one. You don't reverse the cloak except in that prayer called the prayer of the rain. In the dua, which is in the masjid or the Jumu'ah or the normal dua, you don't reverse your cloak. Okay? I don't know how people understand me. I did not know.
No, Sheikh, she didn't understand that. She was just wanted to ask if you do it in all of them.
Oh, I thought if she understood from me. Okay, I misunderstood now. Because I said it's only when you do the prayer and the people behind you, and you're making the prayer of the rain, you're making the dua, okay, and you turn back, you cloak, and you say to Allah Azza wa Jal, that's when you are, okay, you're making the khutbah. Faddal.
Brixton's sister wants to know that if the Imam says taslim, but she's still reading tashahhud, what should she do?
Right, if she can round up her tashahhud as quickly as possible, not to stay for a long time, then she does it. Otherwise, if it's, she's got another minute to do it, no, you're not doing it, because the Imam is finished, you finish with him. So if you did Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, you're supposed to say salam, but you last bit, doesn't matter, you said Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and then you said salam. But to leave it, you are making like a coup against the Imam. You have to finish and round yourself with the Imam as much as you can. So you do it a bit faster. Now, very good question.
Sheikh, it's me, right?
Oh.
Hang on. Panel. Do you have any, Brixton?
No, I have an important sister one for when you can.
Sister Hannah, just we'll go Faisal.
Sheikh, real quick. So after the prayer, the Imam turns towards the congregation. Our question is, does he take a brief pause before turning? Does he stay in his place and say Astaghfirullah, Allahumma anta salam, and then he turns, or does he turn immediately?
So imagine now, as an Imam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Do you feel this is correct?
No, Sheikh. It looks very unnatural, in fact.
It's unnatural. And Islam came to make it natural. No, you say Astaghfirullah, 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 Allahumma anta salam, minka salam, tabarakta ya dhal jalali wal ikram. Unless there is something important. Emergency. And I'll give you an example that happened with me. In my country, I was driving my car and I wanted to pray, a particular prayer, I think it's Isha prayer, in a masjid which I know the Imam of, and I didn't see him for a long time. I saw him at Maghrib, and then I'm going to see him at Isha. I'm going to say to him, I'm not going to see you because I'm traveling. The person, I didn't know him that much, but I was really loving him because of he used to line up the people before, and this is very strange. In Jordan, my country, to do that, and people are, you know, staying quiet, and for you to go between them and the second row, feet by feet. I was amazed. I asked him after the prayer of the Maghrib, how did you do that? He said, it took me 13 years to train him, 13 years. So I was really impressed. Jazakallah khairan. So I came to Asia so I parked my car so far. I like to park the car so far so that I will make access for other people, and as well, I don't want my car to be damaged by those people who park last minute. I came early, but I had stomachache. I went to the toilet, so I missed about 1 or 2 rak'ah, I can't remember. Then I got up upstairs and prayed, caught up the third rak'ah, second rak'ah, I can't remember. And I said, as soon as I finish my catching up of the rak'ah, the Imam is finished, I will, see the Imam and say to him farewell. So as soon as he said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, second, I stood up to continue my whatever left. Okay, and I could see him because I was third row, fourth row. It's a big masjid. And I could see him, boom, left. Never mind, he just turned. He stood up and left. I was talking to myself. I said, SubhanAllah, I don't know what's happened to him, but this guy looks like I'm not going to see him. Say farewell to him. I was talking to myself, I said, maybe I'm not going to see him. Just really, you could really see them. Just not turned, he just stood up and left. Then after I finished the prayer, took my time, prayed and also, because I'm not living in that place, I prayed as well my witr. Took me a bit of prayer, then I went outside, thinking that I'm not going to see the Imam. And the Imam was there. So I went in my car. He doesn't know which car it belonged to. Then he came to my car, knocking on my window, said, Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam, I was going to say to you goodbye. So can you just come out, please? I want to talk to you. I said, what? He said, I'm sorry, but I hit your car. So it was a big farewell because I had to wait and Allah al-Musta'an. And he hit my car, like his partner's car. So he went out, Jazallahu khairan, because he was worried, whose car does this belong to? He never seen it before. So he wanted that person so he could be there. He would not drive, because I didn't notice it. It was in the front, I didn't notice it. I just went in my car. So he took me out and said, I'm sorry, I hit your car. I'm liable to anything that you like. He grew up so much into my eyes. And all of this in my mind, why he got up, why he left so quickly, unless it's an emergency. Thank you very much, Faisal. Let's go to the panel. Do you have any question from the sister, you said?
Yes, Sheikh. There's a question from a sister, and it's being asked by a number of people now. It's about, she says that recently there's a famous da'i or caller, and he's causing confusion among the layman people regarding the preservation of the Book of Allah, Quran. And she goes on to ask about what are the 7 or 10 recitations, the qira'at, and what are the ahruf. And she's saying, please, if Sheikh could clarify what these things are.
Good timing, Ya Ahmed. You're asking me this question. We're going to round up the talk in 1 minute. This question can be asked now. And I need about 20 minutes to answer this question. Not 1 minute, we're going to finish. 20 minutes at least to talk about it. But I talked about some of this in the class. So next time I'll choose to be at the right time, not now to put it, Ahmed. Allah yajzikum khair. I cannot answer this question now because I said if I'm going to start, it's going to be more than 20 minutes. But I'll answer in the following way, which I've said before in the class, that man khada fi ghayri fannihi ata bil ajab. He who does speak into the field which is not his specialty, he will bring something which is bizarre, something which is not acceptable, something which will be, people will be, saying, what is this? We've never heard of this before. Well, let me tell you something, that this is what has been said. It's been said a long time. So this is a clear warning for those people. Why should you listen to somebody who's not his specialty? I will address this, inshallah, and talk about the 7 recitations and the 10 recitation and the Furush and the Shatibiyya and Imam Ibn al-Jazari, and I'll talk about that, but it's going to take a bit of time. But first of all, you should not be confused. Why should you be listening? Because you see, the problem is when you listen to a shubha, it takes us so much time to clean this shubha. Imagine somebody came and he just put into your house lots of poo on the wall. And they said, come please, can you help me please? Is this poo or chocolate? And I come to you, well, it's poo, but I need to clean it up now. It's got a lot here. It's got a mess. I might try to clean as much as I can, but there will be stains left there in your mind. That's why the shubha khattafa. Shubha khattafa means the doubtful matters are hooks. They hook you. We'll try our best to unhook your heart away from it, but there will be scratch. There will be maybe a wound. There will be something that are untreatable. Allah understand. So why should we listen? In the first place, to somebody who's not his specialty. Somebody who we had seen, for example, in this instant order, things there which is not correct and does not synchronize with the scholars. It reminds me of a person who started with saying that we are from monkeys. You remember that? I'm sure you remember that. The evolution. That we are from Adam, but Adam, he had, evolved. And then slowly, we've seen him now at the moment saying, you don't have to fast Ramadan, all of it, up to the time of sunset. Because it's a long day. Choose a different country. They've got a reasonable time. So Saudi Arabia, for example, they break their fast 6 o'clock. So this guy breaks his fast 6 o'clock. Not like us, for example, in summer, 9:30 or 9, 6 o'clock, mashallah. And that's why some people tell he's outside the Islam now. Started with this and he became outside the Islam. And then he's joining a well-known organization. I'm mentioning name here. The person who knows what I'm talking about, and then he knows what I'm talking about. And the one who doesn't know, it's not good for me to tell you about it because I don't want to go and be hooked into as well another hook of shubha and doubtful. And I'll tell you about it, and then you will search on the Google, and then you will start listening to him. God knows if you're immune or not. But I can't understand. And then I had the liberty, this person that you have asked me about, try to listen to if he's got recitation of Quran. I went to the internet and I listened. Yeah, he recites. But people who are not know that they think he recites 100%. He's not. He stays there. Only the specials who they know about tajweed and all of this, they will know where their mistakes is. So if this person cannot recite as 100%, because if a person wants to speak about this issue, his recitation has to be 100%. Not making simple mistakes in ikhfa, how the ikhfa is, which I've listened a number of times. I didn't really make the judgment. And then yet he talks about Quran can be said by the ma'na, with the ma'na. So recite the Quran with the ma'na. So aqwa muqila, aswa muqila, and mentioning, and let me just make emphasis here. Anything is being mentioned regarding companions doing such a thing or saying such a thing, all of them in general are unauthentic. All of them are unauthentic. And the one which is authentic from it, that is regarding an issue of Umar al-Khattab at the time of the Prophet, it has to talk about the interpretation, not picking up a word and making a different word, even though they got the same meaning. We don't really speak in Quran. So, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Al-Thana'u lil-Bari Fawq al-Alamin. Well, similar meaning, but it's different words. It's not Quran what I just said. as I said, it needs tackling here, but I just say in general, please, do not just let your ears to listen to anybody. Unfortunately, the people, they think that the person who's got too many clicks is a scholar. And the person who's got, clicks of 1,000, 500, is nothing. We have to listen to the one who's got 500 million. This is the problem. This is the media problem now. So if those people will listen to Sheikh Ibn Baz, Sheikh Al-Albani, Sheikh Al-Bathim, you think they're going to ask this question, they will be immune. Who is this person to come from nowhere? By the way, he's not known to the world of scholars or the knowledgeable people. It's only known to the environment of here, the English speakers, who are vulnerable, could be easily fooled, deviated. Okay. Allahu Musta'an. I've got lots of things to say about this, but as I said, it's not the right time. I've just given you 6 or 7 minutes. It says my internet connection is unstable.
You're okay now, Shaykhi. It was a little pause a minute ago, but you're okay. We heard everything, alhamdulillah, I think.
Alhamdulillah. So I would just say, Subhanakallah bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Barakallahu fikum. I'm sorry, Mas'ud. Well, inshallah, see you with Allah tomorrow. Jazakumullah khair.